All right, welcome everybody. This is Ask the Marketing Experts webinar. Thank you for joining us. We're broadcasting on our Zoom platform and also Facebook Live and LinkedIn Live. At least I hope we appear live, but we got Lance Luke here and Martin Pea. We got an interesting subject for small business owners and entrepreneurs. And it's all about content creation, which goes hand in hand with social media marketing, websites, blogs, and those kind of things. So the main issue, our message today is tell your story and tell your story often. How many times you're on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, or any of your social media platforms, and you're actually reading about a story or listening to a story. And it's human nature. We all grew up when we were small kids. Hopefully our parents told us stories, and it could be just events that happened during the day, or it could be reading from a book that was written, maybe before they were born, or more recently, or any current events. I mean, there's always stories to tell, and that's what a book or a movie is all about. It's about a story, and telling a story, and getting the message or messages across. So if you're a small business owner and you need more awareness or more business, more customers, more clients, this is our story, and we're going to give you some key takeaways that hopefully you can use and improve upon. Hopefully, like, if you try some of these things, they should work for you. So you're just going to have to monitor it. And we have a company called Expert Media Matters, which is a digital marketing company that, in addition to offering social media marketing services, we offer general business services and all kind of other things. So I don't really want to get into a commercial about it, but that's basically that. Got some photos here. So we get down to the bottom of things. We do this to help small business owners and entrepreneurs build, manage, and market online, and also through traditional methods. Once again, this is Ask the Expert series. Today's topic is content creation, the latest story. And what's the latest story? Well, you hear about it very shortly. Tell your story often. If you do have a story, hopefully you tell it and you announce it. If you do not have a story, you're going to have to come up with one, because otherwise you won't have anything to post on your website or on social media or anything to talk about. Everybody has a story. Everybody's different. Every business is different. Even if you have the same business as someone else, your personalities are different. So you would have a different story, or if it's exactly the same story, you may tell it a different way. And that's the bottom line. So how do you get the message across? You create news and announcements. And if you watch the news, it's all about the current events, what's happening, what's the most newsworthy story, late breaking news, those kind of things. So think about things to attract attention. What kind of information, what is your story that you're going to tell to help promote you and your company? And it could be anything, like you're just having a sale, you got a new product in your restaurant, and you're having a special, or you just created this new dish, anything along those lines. So you ought to make it newsworthy to attract attention. And then, of course, provide engaging social media posts. And the key word here is engaging. Now, if I said provide social media posts, all right, anybody can do that. Can anybody provide engaging social media posts? And what do we mean by engaging? Engaging is like you want to attract attention, you want to attract views, you want to get people to actually look at your posts and read your posts. And if you're posting content that's not video, right, you should kind of look into getting videos done, because then it's not only somebody reading your post, it's actually watching your post and listening to it. And that's part of engaging. If you compare a static post with an image and text to a video post, which post do you think is going to attract the most attention? It's the one with the video, right? Because people are used to watching videos, used to watching TV, watching football games or the parade or movies or different things, even commercials. So that's where the engagement part comes in. When you use photos, make sure your photos are clear and not like grainy and too fuzzy and blurry, unless you're using the fuzzy blurry for a purpose, okay, a certain purpose. And like I mentioned, videos, there's a lot of people looking at doing short videos. There's short videos and there's long videos. The short videos are probably 8 to 10 minutes or less. And then the long videos are, of course, longer. Now, there's even short videos of 15 to 30 seconds. And those are very short and quick. It's sort of like a commercial that would be on TV or on the radio. And those are very quick ones, but you could make your own videos of any length from 30 seconds to 60 seconds to 2 minutes long. It's all up to what your message is. Now, if it's too long, it might get too boring. So then you kind of edit it and you cut it in short videos. So let's say if your video is 5 minutes long and it's too long, why don't you cut it in half and make 2 videos of 2.5 minutes or something like that. And what Martin and I do is we take a 1-hour webinar that's too long, and we make snippets out of it. We call it snackable videos, and one 60-minute video could end up turning into maybe 10 or 15 short videos. And some platforms don't work with longer videos. And now you have these Instagram Reels and Facebook videos, and it basically started with TikTok, and you couldn't post long videos. It's very short. So that was the trend. And now it's basically anything goes, but the short videos work because it's fast and quick. Not too many people have time to be watching a 30-minute or 1-hour video. If it's a movie that they get on Netflix or you go to the theater, you already know that you're going to be sitting down watching for 1 hour, 2 hours, or even longer. So the social media, you're not used to watching these long videos unless it's a webinar or some instructional where you know ahead of time how long it's going to be. Our webinars are about an hour long, but we're trying to make it even shorter by giving you same content, but making it probably 30 to 40 minutes long, and then do the Q&A. And we realize that if it's too long, we lose people. They get bored. People are bored easily, or even if they're not bored, something else comes up. They got to take a phone call. They got to tend to, some business matter or personal matter or something like that. So we're always aware of that. That's why we make short videos too. So we offer both short and long videos. So our webinars are not edited that are up on our website. They're all whatever length the webinar is, and you can watch however long you want. And then we take those webinar videos and we cut them into short videos. We edit it into shorter videos, and then the short videos is what we do. We post on social media. So we're repurposing content all the time, and that's part of content creation. We're not making brand new videos every single day. Well, in a sense, we are. We're taking a 1-hour webinar that we did, and we're making snackable videos, and each small video, whether it's 2 minutes or 3 minutes, that video basically becomes a brand new video, but it's based on a repurpose of a webinar that we gave already. So we're constantly creating content and videos. Every day we're posting something to social media, whether it's a blog post, a social media post, a video post, or something. And that's the way to get the word out. And if we don't do that, we're aware that we have different brands for our various companies. And if we don't keep posting, we're aware that people are going to forget. They're going to forget who we are, what we do, and all that. And we don't want that. Right now, what happens when we don't post? Let's say we stop posting, then we lose audience, right? Because people are used to seeing our blog posts and social media things. So that's why we keep it up. Also, you can create content by blogs. If you have a blog, hopefully you do, or you're planning on making one, podcasts and webinars. So, for instance, the webinar that we're giving right now, we're just not giving the webinar and then that's the end of it, right? The webinar that we're giving now is going to be up on Facebook. It's going to be up on LinkedIn for we don't know how long. Eventually, it'll get buried when new things are posted. But then we repurpose the webinar so it becomes like a brand new post. And then we could take our webinar audio part and make a podcast out of it. And then we could take excerpts of our webinars that are translated into text and create a blog from it. So there's different things that could be done. So for instance, a 60-minute webinar that we're doing today could turn into multiple content for us. We could create blogs, we could do podcasts, we could make maybe 20 or 30 different videos from it and different social media posts and all that. So just one 60-minute webinar could give us numerous content that we're creating. So I don't have to keep talking for hours on end. I just give a 1-hour webinar, and then I have all this social media content created. And when I say social media content, I'm also talking about things that we could put on our website. On our various websites, we have blogs that are from our own research, also using AI, and it also comes from our webinars. So our company is basically content creators. That's what we're known as, and we've become experts at doing that, and we're fairly good, and we're getting even better. And before AI came about, I thought that we were doing pretty good, and with the use of AI, we've become so much better in in creating content, and it's also saving us a whole bunch of time and aggravation. What else for content creation? Well, you can send letters, send emails, create newsletters and send it via email, or post a newsletter on social media. I mean, sometimes I get like super excited about talking about these things because we create a company newsletter and we can email the newsletter out, and that same newsletter we post to social media for people to read that are not on our email list. Some people just don't want to get another email from another business, right? So that's fine, and we respect that. And so if they don't want to be getting emails from us, they can go on social media and read the newsletter. It's the same content. And um, if we can't get to them by email because they don't want it, or they don't want to read our social media, and I still want them to read the newsletter, guess what? You ever heard of the old postal service? I just send that newsletter to them in the mail, and they're like, "Hey, how did I get the newsletter?" I go, "Oh, well, um, you're on our list." They go, "No, I didn't subscribe to anything." I said, "No, I have a side list of all the people who don't want to get emails from us, and they get regular mail." They said, "Oh, okay, thanks." And then, believe it or not, these same people thank me when they get a Christmas card and stuff. So it's all good. If they want to get taken off, I don't feel offended, because believe me, within the past 30 days, I unsubscribed to at least 50 newsletters from different companies. It was just getting where I just didn't have time to read it. So when I realized I don't have time to read it, once I don't delete it right away. I kind of save it for later, and then when I go back to my save file and going, "Oh, I got like all the I don't have time to read it," I just have to delete it. Thousands, of emails. So otherwise I can't keep up, right? So anyway, that's my problem. Uh, AI is your friend. Now, before AI, it was MI, my intelligence, and I was writing from scratch all my social media posts and spending hours on end writing social media posts, writing blog posts, and spending hours looking online for images that would match the social media posts. So one social media post could take me 1 hour to do, because I write it and then I revise it, and then I look for a image, and I may go through 50 images before I find the right one, because you want the image to match the content of your post, right? Otherwise it looks like fragmented, like, oh, what is this guy talking about? The image don't even match. Now, sometimes I do that on purpose, where the image doesn't match the content of the post, but that's rare. Usually it has to be smooth, the continuity has to be there, and even the blog posts. I'm a kind of a stickler for the image has to match the content of the blog post or the social media post. If it doesn't, who's going to want to look at it? And eventually people going, I'm not even going to read a social media post, because the thing is like, doesn't match. I mean, who's writing this thing? It's either like he's writing it and he asked someone else to find a image for it, and he's not reviewing it. So um, all our social media content is reviewed before it goes out. We don't want any mistakes, and so we're using a lot of AI for that. I'll talk more about AI shortly. So I wanted to share EMMs, which stands for Expert Media Matters, Lucky 7 Tips. Tips for content creation, the latest story. And before I get to the tips, every business has a brand, right? Whether you want to promote your brand, or whether you think that you don't have a brand, or maybe you say and I've talked to clients who come to us and they don't do social media. And when I tell them, what's your brand? And they go, I don't have one. And I said, you do have one. You just haven't done anything about it, right? So I let them know, I said, your brand is actually your story, and it goes hand in hand. When you tell your story, you're promoting your brand, right? Whether it's like talking about yourself or whether it's talking about your company. And he said, oh, okay, I understand that, but I don't want to toot my own horn. And he said, I said, you don't need to. You don't have to constantly talk about you and your product. You can have other people talk about you and your products or services. You ever heard of testimonials, right? But you have to start. And that's the name of the game. Okay, so lucky 7 tips. You tell your story, and you tell your story often. If you tell your story and you make a social media post today, right? And then the next post you make is in December, maybe December 20th. Is that often? You have to be more active. And a lot of business owners tell me, I'm so busy running a business, I don't have time to be posting on social media or doing this or that. Okay, well, then I tell them, do you need more business? Do you need more customers, more clients? Okay, if so, you're going to have to make the time. And I can tell you this, it doesn't take that much time. If you're using AI, it's not taking that much time. It's very fast. Okay, so you tell your story, you tell it often, and you keep promoting your brand. If you don't know what your brand is, we can help you with that. Also, create news and announcements. We talk to clients that go, I don't have anything new happening. Okay, well then make something happen. Yeah, anything happening? So it's a Q&A. I asked them, well, what's the latest thing you got going on? Nothing. Anything new in your life going on? No. And so I said, okay, well, let's sit down and think about something. So if there's nothing, you can't be boring. You have to kind of create stuff. And that's where content creation, the word creation came from the word create, right? You got to make stuff. And we're not talking about making things up. We're talking about taking what story you have or what you think you don't have and making a story about it, right? And that's part of it. Also provide engaging social media posts. Like I said, you got to engage. Who's your target audience? You got to speak to them. You don't like speak to everybody, right? You could, but then if you direct your message directly to your target audience, then you get more bang for the buck. Also use photos and make short videos often. Blogs, podcasts, webinars. Now, if you're going, you know what, I don't have time to do these podcasts or these webinars. I don't want to be a speaker or whatever. But okay, so if you don't want to do your podcast, do you want to be invited to somebody that's doing podcasts or somebody that's doing webinars? So for example, if you don't want to do your own webinar, but yet you want to promote, you hook up with somebody who's already doing webinars and maybe offer an interview saying, hey, I have this interesting business and I wouldn't mind being interviewed on your webinar, or try to make the connection. Okay. Also send letters, email, newsletters. How many people don't want to open letters because it's bills all the time, right? Electric bills, water bills. Martin told me he got sick of opening letters, so everything's online now. You don't even have to look at it, right? Which is a good thing, but then you still got to track it, right? Use email and then also send newsletters out. If your business doesn't have a newsletter or doesn't even have a list, I think you should get going, because a lot of companies have suffered with the pandemic, during the pandemic, because they never had a email list. They're running a restaurant, right? The restaurant had to close during the pandemic. And then they called me and said, oh, I don't have any business because I closed. I said, okay, well, people can't go to you, but what about if they pick up takeout? They can't go sit down in your restaurant, but what about if they can make takeout orders or use Uber Eats or one of these other delivery companies, and you make the food and they deliver it? What about that? Okay, so oh yeah, good idea. I can do that because we already know how to make the food. We just don't deliver it. Okay, good. All right, so here's what you do. You take your email list of all your customers and you do an email blast to them and telling them you're still open and you're still making the same good food, and your customers can still get the good food and eat it. They just have to either come into your restaurant and pick up takeout, or they can call the delivery service and have it delivered. And I'm going, here's all these ideas you could do and all that. And they go, I have one question. And I go, yeah, what is it? They go, I don't have a email list. And I'm like, how come? They go, well, I never thought about having one. Customers kept coming to my restaurant and we're doing good. And I felt that I didn't need to keep a list. And I'm going, okay, well, now do you realize that if you had a list of 100, 1,000 emails, you could notify everybody that you're still open? Right now, they have no idea. They think you're closed, right? And so when the pandemic hit, it was like a harsh lesson to learn for a lot of businesses. There was adjustments, right? Even offices that had to close because their building was closed. How are you going to get the work done, right? The other thing is AI is your friend. Now, there's pros and cons of AI, and you keep hearing all these stories about artificial intelligence and all that, but use it to your advantage, right? You don't use it to your disadvantage, or you're at a disadvantage if you don't use AI. And we've told you how. I'll tell you, more about how we're using AI. So let me continue on here. What else do we have? Well, we give webinars all the time, and we have another webinar that we're giving next month called Social Proof in Marketing. And then we have a whole listing of webinars we're giving for next year. We already have the schedule out. And Martin, do we have the webinars listed on our website already for registration for 2024?
Yes, we do.
Oh,
it's out there on our website, which you will show the address.
okay, cool. So do you want to give us a little idea of some of the topics that we're going to be talking about?
I sure can. We'll be covering a lot of the hot topic of 2023, which is AI, artificial intelligence, augmented intelligence, assisted intelligence. That's all AI. So some of the topics we'll be covering is AI marketing, revolutionizing small business now. Another topic, AI, your blogging accelerator. Another topic in March. These are monthly. We'll be covering these topics. March, we'll be looking at social AI, posting and marketing success for everyone. April, you want me to go through the whole list here?
Just go to June.
June, okay, I'll give you the first 6 months. Yeah. April, we'll be looking at AI messaging, better communications for everyone. And May, we'll be looking at AI publishing. Tell your story as you do in your content in a book. And June, to wrap up the first half of the year, we'll be looking at AI publishing and those newsletters. Newsletter retains interested and informed customers. That'll be the topic. So we'll be doing a deep dive on AI and some of the topics that you've covered today.
Oh, thank you. Sounds interesting. I'm kind of excited to present the information with you next year. So thank you for that. So that's what's coming up. And then here's our website, expertmediamatters.com. And our website for this webinar is askmarketingexperts.now.site. We have free books. We have all our webinars that you can watch on demand. And there's like good stuff. And choose what you want. Watch it when you have time. Take advantage of the information. It's all free. Speaking of free, we're inviting you to join Best Hawaii Business Directory. This is the biggest directory. You heard of the Yellow Pages? This is bigger than the Yellow Pages. It's called besthawaiibusinessdirectory.com. If you are in business, you should have a listing. You might already be listed, but if you are, you have to claim your listing. You have to go on and actually provide your email to claim it, and then it'll be a registered business in the directory. We have about 140,000 listings or something right now. So it's free. Now, if you want to pay for upgrades, you can, but we're not here trying to sell upgrades. We just want everybody to join for free first, and then take advantage of how it works. Also, if you're a member of the directory, you're automatically become a member of Small Business Hawaii. Small Business Hawaii is a networking association of business owners, and we formed it to help network, share ideas, help promote businesses in Hawaii. We're trying to help promote each other's businesses. And right now it's free to join. There might be a charge in the future, but take advantage of that too. Before I get to the Q&A, I want to talk some more about AI. Use AI to your advantage. Use AI, no wondering why. AI can help you with websites, lead generation, social media posts, blog content, and so much more. It's actually helped save so much time. When you hear people talk about work smarter, not harder, that actually applies to AI. And we're generating so many things using AI. I've used AI to help website content, lead generation, a whole bunch of social media posts, blog content, and even books. I wrote one book using AI, and it's about AI. So how about that? I don't know if I have the book up on our website yet. Marta, do you know if that book is on our website?
I'm not sure. Let me do a quick check while you continue.
Okay. Anyway, we're down to the question and answer section. You got questions, we got the answers. If we don't know the answer, we can find out. Also, if you're watching, if you have any other ideas for webinar topics, let us know, or any other business related topics. It doesn't have to be social media related or AI related at all. And we're open to listening. Some of the topics that we've used, webinars we've given, came from our audience members saying, hey, what about this? What about this topic? So we're also open to that. Businesses and other questions from anybody else, we're able to help them. So Martin, did you find anything out?
No, it's not on our site. I think we were waiting for your final approval before we post it out there, so,
Oh, okay. I think I was deciding whether to sell it or give it away free, that's why.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, that's probably what it was, because, yeah, I just checked the site, it's not in our publications right now.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe we should decide to, well, if you're watching, if you want a free download, let us know and we'll supply it to you. Otherwise, you're free to buy it on Amazon.com, $14.95 or something like that. Anyway, why don't we open it up for Q&A, and let's see if there's anybody out there that has any questions about our presentation. Also, if you have a question that doesn't specifically pertain to the topic of content creation, you're free to ask that also. And if we have time, we can provide you our response. So we got anybody that didn't fall asleep that is still around and willing to ask questions?
Looks like everybody fell asleep out here. I don't see too much questions coming in, but I did get a few earlier ones here that I can share with you, and some that I've thought about. You ready for those?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, first question is, can you give some examples of how companies have successfully used social media to engage their audience and create compelling content, just like us?
Just this morning I went on Facebook, just to kind of do some browsing, and then it was interesting because I have some examples of maybe not specific companies per se. There's a lot of in Hawaii, we have a lot of small business owners, and the owners could be a one-man operation, or it could be 5 people. But I'll give you some examples of what I think uh, works in social media from these people. So, and these examples are actually from friends of mine, and hopefully by letting you guys know, I can help promote them. So I have an artist friend. He's a very good artist, and his name is Jimmy Tablante. Very nice guy. And he posts on social media paintings that he did. Okay, so by him posting, that promotes what he's doing. Of course, if his paintings were junk and he's posting it, people won't want to look at it. But this guy's so good, he gets good comments on social media. I try and comment. But the other thing he does is he sells his artwork. At the Honolulu Zoo, there's this fence, and so he sells his artwork on the fence. I think it's called art at the zoo fence, or I forget what the name is. But and he came up with this interesting idea. So not only he posts the fence with all this artwork, whenever customers come by, and it's mostly tourists, right? Come by and they buy, his paintings. He takes a picture of the people holding his artwork, and with him too. So if you keep seeing these pictures, you're like, oh, this guy must be good if all these people come to buy his paintings. And of course, the tourists are all happy because you got someone bought a picture of Diamond Head, someone else bought a painting of a turtle or whatever. So, and every time he does that, guess what? That reinforces the fact that he's a good painter, and he got customers, and people are buying his artwork, right? So he got to keep doing that. And it goes a long way. In fact, I went to visit him once and took a picture with him, and it was on social media. But that's an example of using social media for promoting. Okay, I got a musician friend. He lives on the Big Island. His name is Richard Nato, and he's pretty famous. But he posts on social media different things. He posts songs that he does, and it's really engaging. Lately, he was like remodeling his studio, and he's posting pictures of that too. And he just got a new uh, music release out. But that's another way to engage people. And some of these people, they're not really realizing what they're stirring up by the social media, but it happens. Got another person. Her name is Laurie Nasu. She makes crafts and very nice stuff for the holidays. She makes arts and crafts, different holiday cards and all that, and she posts pictures of stuff she makes. And then another person, Susan Tolentino, she sews a lot. She makes different crafts, makes leis, makes all kinds of stuff, and she posts her things on social media too. So it's all these like grassroots, but they're using social media to their advantage. And I'm not talking about just Facebook, Instagram, and others. Also, another musician friend, Christy Ching, she plays in a band called Pocket, and she posts videos and announcements, and the videos showing the group and people dancing and all that. That's good social media. Speaking of music, there's a music group, Wasabi Oldies Group. They're very good. They play a lot of oldies, and Martin and I are oldie fans, and that's the kind of music we like. And my friend Carol Tamura posts pictures of the group, videos of the group, people dancing, the group playing on stage, and that's another way. That's creating content and posting it on social media, and it's fun to do that, but it's also at the same time creating promotion, marketing and promotion. And then let's see, I got a friend who's kind of like a radio personality. His name is David Lancaster. His radio station is KORL 101.1, I think, or something like that. Anyway, they're changing their music format. He's posting of himself in the studio and is asking people, hey, listen to the radio station, let us know if you like the music and that kind of thing. So these people are all using social media. I have a mortgage broker friend, Sharon Duran. She's a mortgage broker, and she posts stuff, pictures on the Philippines when she travels and all that. And so the idea is to not only promote yourself, but let people know what you do. And all these people that I mentioned have a brand, whether they realize it or not. That's their own brand, whether you're promoting your music group or your artwork or your arts and crafts, or you're a mortgage broker. And I know like so many other business owners, but these are just the ones that I saw on Facebook today. So that's why I'm bringing them up. But they have their own brand, and by posting, they're promoting their brand. Now they're not saying buy from me or do this or do that, and it's not a hard sell. It's like what Martin and I do. We're not hard sellers. We don't twist your arm. We give you the information and let you decide. And our method is we give you so much information that you realize that when you need us, we're the experts. And that's the whole idea. Basically, that's part of our brand. We're the go-to guys if you need help on content creation or social media marketing and all that. There's we're not the only ones doing this. There's other people doing it. But we try to employ different methods of doing what we do to get the word out. So anyway, that was a long-winded answer to that one question. So let's see if we have other questions.
Yeah, that was a good answer, because you're highlighting all the different ways that people are creating content and using it in their various businesses, or even not even their businesses, hobbies or whatever. So that's great. That's a good response. Yeah.
Yeah,
Let me
good.
move on to the next. We have a few more questions. Let me ask you the next one here is, how can AI, which you talked quite a bit about, be integrated into content creation? What are some of the benefits and potential drawbacks of using AI?
Well, the benefits are in time saving. Like I mentioned before, I used to take like 1 hour to create one social media post, a short post, because you have to think about what you're going to write, and you have to look for the image and all that. And taking me 1 hour, and using AI, it's a matter of a minute to generate the text for the social media post, and it's that fast. Of course, that I'm not saying that it's exactly what I want, but you could take it and tweak it, or you could keep asking more questions. Now, the asking questions in AI is called prompting. And you have to see, the thing about AI is it's not going to take over my job, right? Because I have to be the one to tell AI what to do. So I have to prompt AI. I have to use the computer and go on and ask AI what I want, or give them instructions. Now, if my instructions are too broad, I'm going to get back garbage. It's garbage in, garbage out. I have to be specific. And if it comes back where it's not, I got to keep trying it again. That's why when people first use AI, it takes them hours to learn how to do it. But it's the prompting. And right now there's like a high demand for prompting engineers. And what that is just people who know how to use AI that's going to ask the right questions, right? There's even college, university classes on prompt engineering. So that's how the world's getting. So the drawback is, if you're using AI and you're not giving the correct information, you're just going to get incorrect information back, or it's too broad. But it doesn't take long to learn how to use it and what to do. So because it's saving me so much time, and it doesn't cost that much, I'm always a fan of using AI, especially for business marketing. Yeah.
Very good. Oh, you're right. I mean, it's well, I made some comments on our sites about the benefits too, and I'll just read one. It actually is, like you say, it's your friend and a valuable assistant, but it's also what you realize as you use it more is you're really kind of unlimiting your abilities and what you can do, and giving you more chance to actually do some of the things that you maybe wouldn't do. So that's what my comment was. And we have the tools like My AI that help us. So that's the other thing, is having the right tools of AI, because AI is going to be developing quality tools for just about every industry for you to be able to do whatever that job is that you do a lot better. So, okay, let me check what the next question here was. What are some common mistakes companies make when it comes to content creation, and how can these be avoided that you've seen?
Some of the mistakes are, you're not directing your marketing to your target audience. You're just like broadcasting a message to anybody and everybody who would listen. Okay, and that may be good for bigger companies, but if you have a smaller company, you need to know who your target audience is, and kind of create your social media posts, your content directed toward that audience. And even if it's going to eliminate other people, you don't, if you're, let's say you're paying for marketing, you're not going to pay to get your message out to 1 million people, right? Because most of the 1 million people don't need your product or service. So why should you even market to them? So you got to narrow down who your target audience is and create your message specifically for your target audience. Otherwise, it's going to get lost. The other, I guess, downside is that if you create content and your content is boring, your subject is like not interesting at all, is boring, your message is not going to get heard. No one's going to want to read it. And that's why I try to make my message and my images like more colorful, using more creative language, words that are going to excite people or want people to read it. And that's the whole idea. There's so much information out there. It's information overload. And if you're your message is boring, no one's going to want to read it. And it's like you're contributing to the overload, right? Now, the messages that are concise, clean, clear, and it's a call to action, that's what you want. And also keep in mind that if your message is really nice, but then your image is boring, that's not going to help either. So, little helpful tips here.
Oh, that's true. You're right. I mean, you've got to appeal to all the senses as much as you can in your marketing, because that's what's going to attract the attention of your audience. So absolutely right. Okay, I think the last question here, let me see if anybody else has come in that I've been missing while we've been discussing here. No, nothing new. Here's, can you talk more about the importance of storytelling in content creation, and how can businesses develop and share their unique brand story effectively?
Well, let's go back to the caveman days, cave paintings where you have like a caveman and then there's a picture of a woolly mammoth. That's a story, right? That's an old story. Now, think about what the story was. Okay, this caveman hunter was so proud he killed a mammoth, and then his family could eat good for maybe a month or what. I don't know how long a mammoth will last, but the idea is there's a story there. So you gotta decide on what your story is and how to make it interesting. And I'll give you some examples. A CPA and doing accounting or taxes, to me, it's like a boring subject, right? So instead of having a social media post like, I'm a CPA and I do taxes. Well, so what, right? I don't like taxes, so I don't even want to read the rest of what you have to say. But if it's the same CPA had a social media post and the headline said, I saved a client $25,000 on his tax returns, wouldn't that be like interesting? You would want to go, oh, maybe this guy can save me that much or more. I'm interested in hearing what his message is. So you gotta kind of change the wording and think about what's going to be more exciting. Let's take a plumbing contractor. This is Joe the plumber. I fix pipes for a living. Call me. Well, that's kind of boring too, right? So instead, the headline should be, I helped a condominium building save $250,000 from a leak, or something like that, right? So you gotta kind of turn it around and not fib about things, but make sure it's true, but make it more exciting. And it's the headline that's the grabber, right? What I do, like I'm a building engineer, construction manager. So my message would be, I help fix buildings. But how boring is that? It's like, what do? Watch paint dry, you know? Like, so I decided that my message is gonna be, when it comes to safety, I help save lives by helping to fix buildings or something like that. Now, what's more catchy? Helping to save lives or fixing a building? So, and it's true, because when I go into a building that has problems, I'm helping. I could save a life, but I could save people from getting seriously injured or have health problems, right? So all that comes into play in the marketing. And one of the best marketing that I use is, I I write books, right? So I wrote one book, and it cost me $20,000 to get published. And people going, "You're crazy. Why'd anybody spend $20,000 on a book?" And then you're even crazier because you're not even selling it; you're just giving it away, right? How dumb is that? So it's like, when you think about it as a business owner, would you spend $20,000 and then, on a book, and then just give it away free? So what's your return on that? So um, the return is negative, right? So I just spent $20,000 and got no return for it. And other business owners who I network with, they're going, "Oh, that was kind of dumb," right? Um, but then I tell them, here's the story. Okay, do we have time for the short story? I think we do. So I go to a board meeting, and I'm the third one to present my construction management services. The first person came in, and he passed out business cards, and he talked about, what he did. Okay. The second guy came in, and he had not only his business card, but his nice color brochure. How do I know this? Because I was a third guy, and when I went in, I saw the other company's business card and brochures. So I go in, and I have business cards, but I didn't pass it out. Instead of a business card or a brochure, I passed out my book. I gave each condo board member a book, and they looked at the book, and they go, "Whoa, what is this? You wrote a book?" I go, "Yeah." And this is my business card and brochure. And they're like, "Oh, I never had anybody give a book for a business card." And one guy said, "Well, if this guy wrote the book, he must know his stuff. So I think I want to hire him," without me even talking about what I do, right? And I'm like, "Okay, well, before you guys make a decision, let me explain what I do." So I went into my short presentation, and what I did and how I can help people. But you know what sealed the deal? What sealed the deal was me being able to give them a book and say, "I'm the one that wrote the book on building safety. How safe is your building?" So it ended up, I got $150,000 contract from them. Now, so when you think about it, the $20,000 that I spent writing the book, was it worth it? You didn't even need to do math, right? Yeah, it was worth it. The other thing was, that was only one client. I still use the book today, and I use the book, and I got other deals, right? So that's one way that I use one book. I've got the business from website. I got the business from my blog posts. I got business from social media posts. It's crazy. Social media posts, I'm not even telling people to hire me. I'm posting pictures of buildings, and like, "Oh, do you see what's wrong with this picture?" And then people email me and message me and going, "Oh yeah, I keep seeing your posts, and you're the building guy." I need help. You gotta come to my house and take a look. That's what's going on. So I end up getting business from that. So I learned that you don't have to be hard sell. You have to be the expert at what you do. And how do you become the expert? Right? You just keep posting on social media and you do your marketing, you create your brand, and you become the information person and become the expert, and people want to do business with you. They're going to know, like, and trust you. You think people know, like, and trust me because I'm not posting on social media and I'm not talking about what I do? No, they're not going to even know me if I didn't do that. So the message here is you got to create your content and you got to keep promoting your brand. And that's basically the story that we have to tell you today. And I know we ran out of time because I'm talking too much, but I get excited about what we're doing and how we're able to help people. And if you ask clients of ours whether we help them or not, they're not going to tell you no, right? They're paying us money for us to help them. So Martin, you got any last words before we sign off?
Well, I'm just gonna say, now I know why you have so many books out on so many topics. Hey, that's a strategy I learned years ago too. But unlike you, I haven't done a lot of books. But now I see why I should do more books.
I'll help you. We'll go. In fact, we got 2 books that we're co-writing, right?
Well, we should be updating. Yeah, we need some updates on that. Now that I realize what you're leading to.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
All right.
good job. This has been a very good webinar as usual, and I hope our audience has gotten a lot of value from it. And yeah, I've learned something like I always do when I'm in your webinars.
All right. That's the
Okay.
idea. That's the whole idea. So
Good
on
job.
behalf of Martin and myself and Ask the Marketing Experts webinar series, we thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned. Hopefully you can join us on the next one. Go to our website. We've got valuable information there. If you want that AI book that I just wrote, it's not an Amazon bestseller yet, but I'm not sure. It may be. So reach out to us and we'll send you the link to get the free download. So once again, thank you very much for watching, and hopefully we'll see you again. Thank you. Aloha.
Aloha.